Hi, everybody. This is Jeffrey with Ripe Color,
This is Nancy Jean in my garden.
this is the reading for December 17th. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, press the bell for notifications. Both of us offer private readings. We both also offer physical goods. I'm a textile designer. I make t-shirts, and I have astrology t-shirts, and I have scarves, and I have bags, etc., etc. I also offer a healing modality called IET. All the information is below. Nancy has gardens for sale, as well as grids. Show a grid today. Show a grid. Okay. Show the grid.
There we are. Healing. These grids are based on a reading done for the individual and to find out where their vibration or frequency is, which is kind of how I work with the garden. Jeffrey and I are both going to read on the vibration, the frequency of today, and sort of the energy going around us as individuals, as well as the macro, the big world. So, and we enjoy having your comments below. So if you'd like to make suggestions or comments, we'll read them. We may not take them, but we will read them. And we really do want to know how these readings, how you respond to them. The garden doesn't do yes, no's. It doesn't do a lot of the more typical things. It basically does frequency and vibration based on where the crystal lands and what the space means. Now, Jeffrey, you can shuffle your cards all you want. I love the sound of shuffling cards.
Yeah, I like shuffling.
Whoa. One's standing right up there, and go for it. This is going to be interesting.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
The muses. I get the muses. I get celebration. I get creativity. I get joy, abundance, a wedding. This all, for me as an artist, these are the muses. You know, it's like creative inspiration that's full of joy, right? And it's also the triplicate, so it has this energy of being born. That's the energy. It's like, oh, you know, it's like a lovely party where everyone has a lovely time. You know, it's not like, it's none of that. It's just, it's all joy. This is a very joyous card to me. Then for the mind, oh, there might be a little toxicity. Oh no, toxicity. Yes, toxicity. Sorry. So, you know, the devil is really about, at the end of the day, if I could just break it down to my essence of what this card is, it's false path. False path. That's what it is. It's believing something to be true that's not really true.
Right.
Right. Because actually, if you look really closely at the card, you know, it's Adam and Eve. It seems like, oh, they're tied to the devil. They're not really tied to the devil. They could just go like this. They're not, it's not they're not shackled. They're not shackled. It's an illusion that they think, oh, I owe this to someone. I've got to do those drugs. I have to make this amount of money. Yeah, it's like that. Okay, so it's false. It's false. Then for spirit, I get be in the here and now. I get be in the here and now. And I also get, with this card especially, I always get like there's this energy of being physical in some way that will actually really serve you. And that could be, you know, making art, but it could also be taking a walk. It could be doing exercise. It could be cleaning the house. It could be, you know, anything physical that you do. And there's, you know, I don't want to say monotony. There's a certain meditative quality to this card. You know, because he's making pentacles over and over and over. And it's like, it's almost as if the pentacles took over, right? Because he's just doing his thing. And there's a very be here in the now and experience the joy of the now. Right. And then for grounding, I get the big boy.
Yep.
Yeah, I get the big boy. So this is about something built that's very solid and very practical and very stable. That's what I'm getting today from the card.
Okay.
And then for clarity, I'm getting you might need to see things. You might need to take off the blindfold to see what's around you.
Right.
You might need to take off the blindfold to understand the ways that you've limited yourself. And that really directly relates to this. So I think there's going to be a little bit of a, I do that because of this. And so I'm not really, I don't think I'm going to do that anymore. A little bit like that.
Okay. Okay. You hit right on the mark with several things that are on here. This is let go of limitations and move forward. And that you're being tied to thoughts from your past. So that's the sort of devil thing where it kind of, yes. And the other part is, this is your spirit, and your spirit's hit in the space called restate. And restate really means look at it all again and think it all through. And it says going in the right direction, but you need a lot of clarification. You need to pull out a lot of false thoughts you have between where you're headed. Then the grounding stone falls between false and the path forward. And the grounding stone in these two means that there's more abundance that can be created, which is the path forward, but you need to make sure your values are correctly aligned to move forward. Okay.
Right.
So there we are. And then we've got our body in air, and our body in air says, get grounded in your own thoughts. Make sure they're your own thoughts, because you got the bonus thing. This stone is kind of a funny, that's how it landed upright like that. It's clarification. It landed between the root chakra and the go for it. And when it lands and go for it, it says move right now on your intuitions. And when it's in the root chakra, it says you're tying up cosmic wisdom within yourself.
Wow.
And that's what you need for your base.
Wow.
So what you are seeing is these people are limiting themselves. What this says is if you let go of these limitations, you're going to take off like a rocket. If you're not tying yourself to the devil, if you're not living with false expectations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just feeling it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How close it is. I mean, this is, you guys got to understand.
Yeah. Well, this is, so it's almost like, if you shame the devil,
mm-hmm.
right? And you say, I'm no longer tied to you. I'm no longer tied to this thought form. I'm no longer tied to
let
this
go,
action.
let go, whatever that limitation is, however you got trained into having it. Even if it's just a thought, like I really need to stop after work for a drink, say thank you for sharing and get home and do what you need to do at home.
Right, because then you're going to be led to, whistling while you work, being in the here and now, joy and abundance.
Yeah, this is, if you're doing what your intuition tells you to do, and now's the time to move forward, you're going to be right into that. I think the way you describe the pentacles there, the labor with pentacles, that's almost like what you try to get to in yoga, where you get into the totally present. And I know when I knit, that's why I knit at night, because I have to follow my hands and count stitches and do things. And it just, and at the end of what would have been otherwise empty evenings of not really using all my earthly time, I have now almost a huge blanket, which I will probably share by the end of this month.
Yeah, no, I get that when I paint. When I paint the scarves, I'm totally blissed out. Like I don't answer the phone. I don't go to the bathroom. I don't eat. It's like, oh no, I have to finish this. And it's like 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm all blue and I'm like, oh.
Well, I do. And it makes it just, you, by the end of that time, instead of there being a passage of time and you look back and there's nothing there, when you're actually working with your intuition and going for the things you want to go for. Right.
And letting it come through your body too.
Right. That's why the body's in air, letting it pass.
Letting it come through your body. So there's something to be said for, I don't want to say monotonous. It's like a meditative thing. So I used to swim, and I remember once I was swimming and I had an appointment with like a really big client, and and it kept on saying, use the black dye. And you ever see me wear black? I don't wear black. I don't like black. Use the black dye, use the black dye. And I'm like, oh. And I remember coming up for air and saying out loud in the pool, it'd be like, no one ever went to this pool. And I'd be like, all right, I'll use the black. So, And then I come home and I made some things in black, and they bought a ton of them. And it was like this enormous order, enormous, because I just followed the directions. I just followed the directions instead of saying, I'm tied to not doing black. Got it?
Oh, yeah, when I used to drive before COVID, and I used to have 3 times a week, I had long hauls back and forth, pretty long, 40 minutes by myself in the car. It's the most alone time I had. That it was driving home in early February of 2020 when the voices said, you're going home. And I looked around, I was like, I know I'm going home. And then I looked out, there's a gray graphite fog around my car.
Mhm.
And I said, I'm going 80 miles an hour down Central Expressway. You really need to let me see where I'm going. They said, we'll get you home. This is how much I trust my voices, guys. But so I said, okay, they'll get me home. And then they told me that if I went out and breathed what was in the air, I would die. And I was going home and I wasn't leaving. And I went home that day and I didn't leave until June.
Wow.
I had kids that could bring me food. I didn't live it.
Yeah, I
didn't have
had a
enough food
little,
of my own. I mean,
I
I
was
managed to
in-
accommodate it, but what I'm saying is there are just, when I would drive, I had driven that stretch of Central Expressway so many times that it's a place to get in that sort of mindless presence.
right.
But I do it now with knitting because I don't drive anymore. I can drive, I just don't. They didn't
Yeah.
take my license away.
Today was this is a really interesting read.
This is a really, and I tell you, when you look at this for the collective, is if everybody puts their energy, if something's going on in the big world, and it's like, put your energy behind it, the energy behind it is to go with your intuition and move forward.
Right. Absolutely.
Let go of the
Absolutely.
past.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll see you tomorrow.